I've always been kind of in the camp of the higher protein approach. I don't think that I think that unless you're trying to treat a specific like metabolic dysfunction or disease, like, epilepsy or Alzheimer's or something like that, where you need a very, very high fat intake because you want your ketones to be as high as possible. I don't think the majority of people need to do that, especially if your goal is to like your main goal is health and changing your body composition, things like that. I think protein is super, super important, especially if you're training, right? Especially if you're, in that athletic population as well. So going into the study, I actually just told the participants in the ketogenic diet group, I said, hey, the biggest thing that you need to do is one, focus on keeping your total carb intake under 50 grams, right? To just get you into that lower carb state. And then eat ad libitum, right? So the rest of your food, really, you can divide up however you want with your protein, your fat, your calories. We didn't have them on a strict calorie protocol with that. So it was just keep your carbs under total 50 grams and really make sure that you're supplementing with a lot of salt throughout the day, especially before your workouts, during your workouts. And so those are the two biggest things. But what we found at the end of the study is that when we took 3 days of their dietary intake every 2 weeks to see where they were at. And then we put all of that data into, like, we had them record, a 3-day journal every 2 weeks throughout the study. So we had a total of three journals with 3 days. And we put all of that data into a whole, big system where it spit out exactly their macros, all the vitamins, minerals, all that stuff. Obviously, it wasn't like completely exact because we know that there's some user error when you're accounting for those things. But what we found in general when we compared the groups is that both groups actually consume this right around the same amount of protein. The ketogenic diet group, obviously, they reduced their calories just ad libitum. As they were eating ad libitum, we know some of the effects of a ketogenic diet is that it can be appetite suppressant, less food focused, things like that. So they were able to reduce their calories in that regard, but their protein was the same between both groups. And what was different was just the distribution of their fats and carbs. And then obviously their calories as well. So they definitely were more in the I don't remember the exact numbers for the protein, but it was definitely a quote unquote higher protein approach than I would say the standard ketogenic diet. Yeah. So, and that's what I would recommend, like, especially when I'm working with clients or just even throughout the years and for myself, I never really advocate like a high fat approach unless they are specifically looking to increase their ketones to the highest degree possible for some medical reason.